Hal here with more Space Engineers, and today, well, we're gonna have a bit of a change up. Yeah. So what we were talking about last week is that the atmospheric spawning of hostile AI has seemed to have gone a little bit wonky. I've tried reloading the mods and hasn't really fixed the problem. So what we're gonna do is we're going to shift a little bit more from the extreme aspect survival where we have things attacking all the time, or where they were supposed to be attacking all the time, over to more of a build focus. And so that means we're going to be working on the base a little bit more hardcore than what we've been doing up until now. And so I'm going to kind of shift over to getting things that we want to get done and that we need to get done for this to actually become a real base. So what we're going to do today is we're going to figure out our spacings for what's going to be a drop-in hangar, and then from there we'll start planning like additional power and the mechanics and things that we're not currently doing. But I do want to get some of this stuff in. So one of the things that we had talked about is basically taking what we have there for our power generation and basically take that as a module. And we're going to put a bunch of them down in this area. I'll probably have like 4 or 5 of them where we start in one spot and we'll bring it over and then have it move over a couple of blocks up and over and basically try and keep it centered. That way we can keep everything looking kind of nice. And then what we'll have is a bulkhead on either side. Come over on the side really quick. So we'll have basically a mirror on both sides with all of this power generation stuff in here. This guy will go away. And we're really where we need to be at this point for depth. So where that particular block is, to this block is 10 spaces. All right, that's 10 large blocks in there. In betwixt them. This one being number 10 specifically. And this line is actually the center of the original build. And we're gonna center up our large hangar off of this. So what I want to do is have something that's big enough to park this ship in there. And this is 7 blocks tall, I believe. I just counted it short, not that long ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7, right? Nothing above that. Depth-wise, I'm not too worried about, but width-wise, we're talking about 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 blocks wide. So based off of the center line of there, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. So if I bring that block in, that puts us at 15. If we bring it out 1, that puts us at 17. And so we're going to go with that idea. And then this entire thing will come towards us basically as a giant shelf to cover this lower area. And eventually come all the way out to here. It'll meet up out here. Well, I should say continue out here. And then we'll have, like I said, we'll have our the engines, hydrogen engines down below. So we'll have a power array down there. Have the big hangar here in the middle. And this will probably end up being 2, maybe even 3 hangar bays. I'm not quite sure exactly how far out that's going to go. But we're going to end up with this coming over one more block. And then that'll be where we'll put the bulkhead in, because I want this area to basically be closed in. And then we'll figure out from there. But what I need to get the structure in place for now, so that we can figure out where things need to go. And you are going to be... We'll have that duck back. And that's going to come down this way. And we'll probably, later, once we have everything figured out, we'll sculpt this out so that it follows the terrain a little bit better. But for now... Alright, oh, that's too many. Should be there. But yeah, like I said, for now, we'll go ahead and get this stuff in. Because I moved it forward one. Alright, doesn't really matter. We're just using it as a placeholder anyway, so what we're trying to do is figure out how far out can we get this before it starts interfering with the stuff down below, which I think is probably going to be about there. And then this one is going to be the same. Because eventually that is going to come back in. That should be okay from there, I think. We'll go ahead and take this back out. There we go. And that gets us this area. Okay. So now what we need to do is we'll need this guy to finish what he's doing. And then once, because it'll basically need to finish that and then come back and finish this next pass. So I think what we'll do is I'll go ahead, we'll do a quick cut. And I'll get some measurements on that particular ship, because we know how tall and wide it is. I need to know how deep it is. And what we'll do is we'll add probably 2 blocks to it, maybe 4 blocks, 2 blocks to the front, 2 blocks to the aft. And we'll start pacing things out over here and see just how much room we have. So I'm going to go ahead and do that quick cut. We'll let the mining system continue to mine for a little bit. And, well... for you, we'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so let's talk about what we're doing. Oh, so I have been letting this run for about 2 hours or so. Just to show you. We're just now to the point where the piston is doing its final retraction. Once it's retracted, then we'll have a thunderstorm, apparently. Yeah, so basically once it's done retracting, we'll have it swing back through, and I think that'll be like another 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. I don't remember now. But to go from side to side, and then we'll actually be done with it. So what we're going to do, though, let's talk about what the plan is. So I have been doing a bunch of drawing offline. And so what I'm thinking is, let's go here. And so this will be the level that you're actually walking around on in the hangar area. And so we're gonna go like so and see if we can get, there we go. So basically our hangar space is going to end up being inside that area, right? There we go. And I've got this set so that Bob's not going to weld them up, just so that we can actually figure out what the space is going to kind of look like here. Let's just get a few more of these in. And I think that's where we needed to be for this. All right. And then our hangars are actually going to go out that way. So what we're going to end up with is, I want to see here, we're going to have, we did this, how far out did we do this? I don't remember now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So our midline is there, so that's 18, so 19. So this will be border area. That'll be that. Because we want at least 15. So right now we're at, so we said that's 10, so that's 9, that's 18, so that's 17 interior. And that would put us at 15, so this will actually come out a bit. And then, alright, so this would actually continue all the way over. Alright, so that'll continue over to be basically where we need things to enter. And then we're going to end up with 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that'll be a hinge there, right? That's all right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's just so I remember that that's where that's going to be. And this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that'll be the next line. Okay. So basically there's going to be a hinge mounted in this location, right? And we're going to have this be a door that comes all the way out to the middle here. And in order to get around the fact that this is an odd number, so we have a block here with even numbers on either side, we're actually going to stagger this. So let's go half block just to show the difference here. Okay. And so like these three will be on one door. And then you'll have a line that comes back here. And those three will be on this door. And then rinse and repeat. So you're basically going to have these geared teeth. Baby. 3. Alright. So you're basically going to have something like that. And what this will allow us to do is split the load between the two, so they'll be able to match up on either side. And that way we'll keep our center line on a single block, and the next line will be on its own block. So that way they'll interconnect and secure. And then this guy, will, like I said, there'll be a solid line coming out. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do is we'll have it set up so that basically the teeth on both blocks are kind of like the dividing line. And then we'll have the walkways behind it so that the hangar space will be open basically even when the door is closed. It's not airtight. We don't need to worry. It's earth. We don't need to worry about airtight. So I think that's what we'll end up with. And then what we're going to do is this ends up becoming a partition line. And so what you'll have is a second door on this side. Actually, you're going to go like that. And so this will continue back. Oh, a little too far on that one. And so this will actually be a second door, and that's going to split. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this will be the other door here. And so that's where it's actually going to split. We'll take that out just so that we remember. And so that what this will allow us to do is we'll be able to break the hangar up into two different spaces. We'll have basically hangar 1, hangar 2, or however you want to say it, forward and, you know, east and west or something. But this will allow us to have a total hangar space of approximately 30 blocks deep, or in this case long, and then 17 blocks wide, and obviously, you know, approximately 10 blocks, 11 blocks tall. Now, the reason I want to do this is because I'm not quite sure if we're going to end up with a bigger ship or not, but this will allow us to have a shipyard that we can actually build larger ships in and have it open up. Ship takes off, we can close it down and start building the next ship. So we will have, I'm probably going to have 4, maybe 6 more of the build and repair bobs out here, just so that we'll be able to actually like spam the build system. And then we'll probably put in a projector, maybe even 2 or 3 projectors. So we'll have one that for each hangar half, and then have one in the middle for much larger builds, so we can actually do large production builds here. But that is the plan. We just have to wait for that beast. Looks like it is actually almost in position. It's pretty close. So once that is done, we just basically flip the hinge and basically have this whole thing come out. But this is why I want to get it all cleared so that we can start building. So what I'm going to do is I think we're going to go ahead and call this one here. I need to clean up this mess, get that thing swung back around, and I want to get the framework in for the hangar space at least before Wednesday's video. So I am going to thank you all for stopping in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, you know the routine. If you didn't, you know the routine for that as well. And yeah, try and get as much of this done in the next couple of days as possible. I've got a bit going on in my in my life right now, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, but it's unfortunately for space engineers. Oh, so I'm going to be losing a lot of free time, and I won't be able to do quite so much during the week, so I'm going to have to start doing a lot more front loading and pre-recording on weekends. And because of that, yeah, I want to get as much of this done as possible this week. So we're going to get the last little bit of stone out. I will build the permanent portion of this structure out. I think what we'll end up with is we'll have an area over on the other side over here, which I'll show you. So I'm thinking have it come back over here. I'll use the little lawnmower to come through and clean up all the edges here, but we'll have it come back receipt so that it's basically sitting over the big pit here, and we'll have it set up so that we can actually open it up, bring the whole thing up if we need to, do maintenance on it, whatever. And then what I'd love to do is basically have the ability to have this whole thing open. But yeah, that's a little bit above our pay grade right now. So, oh, but anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I want to thank you all for stopping in. Like I said, hopefully you enjoy it, and we will see you back here on Wednesday, and hopefully have a lot more of this framework in place, and maybe even some weld up. But yeah, as always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody.